Welcome once again to the 6th annual Pikeville National Bank Pike County Bowl. Brought to you by Pikeville National Bank, KC Music, Pepsi Cola, Sears in Pikeville, Coleman Oil, Eastern Telephone, Sears in South Williamson, Action Auction, Hatfield Funeral Chapel, Belfry Floral and Gift Shop. Oh, once again, everyone, Jim Frazier by my side, Keith Casebolt. We've got a terrific into the doubleheader here, Keith, as the Pikeville Panthers, defending Class A champs, take on the Beechwood Tigers, and a lot of high expectations. These teams preseason 1 and 2 in Class A.
Well, Jim, you're right. They had a good matchup last year going into the state championship. This year, Pikeville ranked #1. I don't think that's going to be true at the start, and Coach Bill Alaris said that. They've got a lot of injuries. They're going to have to deal with some younger players. In Beechwood, they have an offensive attack with a junior quarterback who last year was a star, Wilmhoff, as a sophomore. It's going to be an interesting ball game. The Panthers have never lost in a Pike County Bowl. It's going to be interesting, to say the least.
Join us for all that terrific action coming up right after these messages.
You know, when it comes to learning to play the piano, there are no guarantees. But one thing is certain. You can't learn to play the piano unless you have one. There are a lot of reasons why you don't own a piano, but I want to give you one good reason why you should. Your children. If Corey here doesn't learn to play another note, our investment is paid off. A piano is a big investment, but the rewards can be even bigger.
Besides being nestled in the beautiful mountains of eastern Kentucky, what do these fine banking institutions have in common? Citizens National Bank of Paintsville, Bank Josephine of Prestonsburg, Citizens Bank of Pikeville, First Commonwealth Bank of Prestonsburg, and First Security Bank of Whitesburg. They all have telephone systems engineered and installed by Eastern Telephone Company. Eastern Telephone is not just a local company, but a company that provides prompt, professional service and advanced technology. Call Eastern Telephone for free consultation.
WYMT TV, sharing the news at home.
Welcome back to the Hamley Athletic Complex. I'm Keith Casebolt along with Jim Frazier. This is the 6th annual, and it is Beechwood and Pikeville here in tonight's second ball game. Quite a first game, Jim Frazier. The Belfry Pirates really looked impressive with an outstanding win over Fort Thomas Islands.
I think in looking at Belfry, Keith, they're a team that could be playing in Louisville come the 1st of December, and either one of these teams could also be down playing for the Class A championship. They're preseason ranked #1 and #2.
Well, the #1 preseason ranked team in Class A football, the Pikeville Panthers, will take the kick from Beechwood as they won the toss, and Pikeville will return the football out to about the 33-yard line. Jim, before we get started with this ball game, I will say this. The Panthers have had a lot of bad luck with injuries, but also just before the game, they announced a tragedy that has befallen the Panthers again. Number 60, Jason Blackburn, has lost a family member, his mother. He is playing tonight. He is wearing a black armband, as all the Panthers will do in this game. Black spots pointing on their helmet. They are dedicating this game and the season to Wilma Blackburn, who passed. And that was Jason Blackburn's mother. I know he and his father, Paul Blackburn, who is here at the game tonight, feeling a lot of sorrow, but yet they're here tonight, and they want everyone to know that they need your thoughts and your prayers, and I hope everyone will remember them.
Certainly so. We want to pass along our condolences to the family. Look like maybe a jump off sides there, Keith, and a little bit of encroachment action.
Well, it's going to go against Beechwood. The starting offensive lineup, it's going to be different than it should be because several people will be out of this ball game for Pikeville. Starting at quarterback will be Christian Caudle, number 10, replacing the injured J.P. Blair. He'll have a backfield that includes Woods, Rose, and Shane Alera. And the Panthers running on first down. It's up the middle, and it is number 22. That is Helvey carrying the football. Madison Helvey going straight up the middle that time. He picks up the 6 yards for the first down. Shannon Cochran along with Tim Honaker, B.C. Newsom, Jason Blackburn, number 60, your center. Adkins, number 70, 54 Helvey, and number 20 Murray Garvin, rounding out the starters for the Pikeville Panthers. Caudle on 1st and 10, just across the 50. He hands it off It is number 30, Alara, working his way for about a 1-yard or 2-yard gain. These two teams have met several times, Jim Frazier, and each time it has been quite a battle. Beechwood, of course, in the now famous matchup in the Pike County Bowl, led a game 21-20 at halftime when it was called off because of thunder and lightning and a lot of rain. That was a moral win for them, but it was something that sparked the Panthers and came back later in the year to defeat them in a very cold ball game up in northern Kentucky.
3 straight times Beechwood has been beaten by Pikeville in the state semifinals, Keith.
Christian Caldwell scampering, looking for some room. He isn't going to find any. In fact, he's going to be dropped for what looks to be about a 4- to 5-yard loss. It is Charlie Mesher making the tackle that time.
Keith, in talking earlier with Coach Bill Alara, he mentioned that, you know, of course, his number 1 quarterback, J.P. Blair, had gone down due to injury, but he felt like he had a lot of confidence in Christian, and I think that Mr. Cottle will certainly have a big game here early, trying to get some of the jitters out, but Coach Alara has a lot of confidence in him.
3rd down and 11 for the Panthers. Penalty flags are down. Cottle keeping the football. Crosses down across the 50, down to about the 44. Bill Alara in his first season as a head coach for the Pikeville Panthers, Jim, after 18 seasons as an assistant coach to Hillard Howard.
Well, you know, number 1, Keith, that not a lot of things are going to change. You see an illegal procedure call there against Pikeville could be declined because it would set up a 3rd down situation, I believe. 4th down, rather.
Now the Panthers have had 2 penalties already. Some jitters in this ball game for them.
But Coach Alara will be doing a lot of the same things. They'll run the multiple sets on offense. And, of course, on defense, basically a 5-2 or a 4-3 look. A lot of the same things that, of course, Hillard Howard had.
Alara had to go through his hands, picked it back up. He put away a good kick, considering it's going to take a Pikeville roll inside the 10-yard line. And that is a break for the Panthers. Alara was all over in the backfield trying to find that football, and Jimmy did an excellent job of getting away the kick.
40-yard kick after all that, and of course anytime in high school that you can average over 30-35 yards, you're doing quite well, and nice job by Shane there. Beechwood will set up shop deep in their own territory, and you know, football, a game of field position turnovers type situation. Beechwood backed up here.
Well, number 51, the center, Eric Bricking, brings up the Beechwood Tigers, and it is quarterback Craig Wilmhoff, who is now a junior and was a super sophomore. Wilmhoff handing off up the middle, and it is a good gain for Beechwood. It's going to be close to a 1st down. I'll set the starting lineup for you. Wide receiver, it is Keith Schilling, number 5. Left tackle is Bill Stander, 75. Left guard, Curtis Elman, number 56. Eric Bricking is the right guard. Scott Shuttle, right tackle, 78. Wide receiver, Rodney Williams. Joey Johnson is the left halfback. Greg Meyer, the right halfback. The fullback is Brandon Berger. And Craig Wilmhoff, your quarterback.
Who'd you say that right halfback was?
Greg Meyer.
Joey Johnson.
Oh, Joey Johnson. That's right. Pardon me. Well, on 2nd and 1, the Panthers are trying to hold, and it is going to be close.
Of course, we have one of our own, Joey Johnson's here, helping out with the audio. He's going to get his name mentioned quite a bit this season.
Well, I've seen Joey. I don't think he would carry the football like that. Depending. Late some Saturday night, he may carry the football like that. I don't know.
There you go.
It'll be 1st and 10 for Beechwood.
Quarterback very good here, Keith. Look for him to put the ball up pretty soon.
They have a man in motion. Wilmhoff dropping back. Good pressure. He's hit at the release. It is complete. And it goes to number 44, Greg Meyer on the completion. Boy, Wilmhoff that time. Jim Frazier, he took quite a lick just as he released the football, and he had to have some kind of composure to stay back there.
Wilmhoff threw for over 2,000 yards, and Pikeville lost a lot of people back in that secondary, Keith, and you got to believe that Coach Bernie Barry's been there for 17 years, 16 years as the head coach. He's going to try and exploit that, and Beechwood always has been a big play type of team. They've had a number of good quarterbacks. I think you'll see him try and put the ball up, do some different wrinkles.
Wilmhoff on first and 10. He's looking to put it into the air again, and Wilmhoff is going to be sacked this time. Brought down by Shannon Cochran, number 88 from behind. Good penetration that time by Cochran. Last year in Beechwood, it was one of the more entertaining ball games that I can remember. Very cold day. Beechwood did the passing. Wilmhoff was injured in that game, but the Panthers, of course, on the way to their third straight Class A title, won that ball game. But, Jim, they really put on the show.
I think the final score, 49-20, something like that. They really put it to them.
It'll be a second down at about 13. Wilmhoff looking to put it up. It is a short pass that is complete, but it is going to be dropped even further. But another about a 6-yard gain, and that time the Panther defense really looked good, not fooled whatsoever.
Might have been Keith Lockhart over there. Couldn't quite pick it up, but
I think it was Collins, number 15, the man who made the tackle.
Okay. Of course, Coach Alara, in talking with him, he felt like the offense, due to the injuries and so forth, Darrell Ratliff, J.J. Bailey also out, that the offense would come along slow. The defense would have to carry him this year. And Keith, even though they've lost a lot of good quality players, that tradition that they built here in Pikeville over the years, they really reached down defensively.
Excellent point, Jim. Third down and a long 20. Wilmhoff feeling some pressure. Blackburn back there. He rolls out looking to run away from one tackle, but he's knocked out of bounds just about the 27. He'll be way short of the first down, and the Pikeville Panthers have held defensively, which I think has got to be a good sign for them. Bill Alara in his first year, and how do you come in after a man like Hillard Howard, who has won 3 Class A state titles? I think the one thing that you've got to know is there will never be another Hillard Howard, but there is going to be a good Bill Alara. And he has been an excellent assistant coach, and I'm sure that he has all the support from the Pikeville fans and the Pikeville coaching staff and players. He's just an excellent gentleman.
Sure, you cannot replace a Hillard Howard. However, you can carry on. That's exactly what Bill will do.
Well, it's a real high punt, and Pikeville is going to let it bounce, and a good thing they did because it took a Pikeville bounce backwards. The Panthers will have excellent field position at the 40-yard line. Belfry winning rather easily over Fort Thomas Highlands in the opening ball game.
Teams preseason number 1 and number 2.
Well, Bill Alara made a statement that this is not the number 1 team in Class A football. And with the injuries that the team has suffered, I think that he has an excellent point. However, the Panthers started out slow last year and turned out to be the number 1, and I'm sure that's what Coach Bill Alara is hoping that will happen to this team.
Let's see, Keith. There may have been a penalty here against Pikeville. Let's see. I cannot imagine that it would be against Beechwood because Pikeville would have refused it. It will not be enough for the first down. However, they will get another shot.
Well, I didn't catch the flag, Jim. I stand lost on that play.
Not sure. I believe Reigert will be handling the punting chores.
Brandon Berger, number 36. Back to kick. Puts the foot into it. It is a short one, and it is going to be taken by the Panthers at the 47, and they'll lose about 4 yards on that exchange. Not as bad as you might have thought. Lance Rose, number 33, the man who came up with the ball, got a good return on it. Rose, a returning player from last year. One thing the Panthers did last year, they had so many blowouts, they had a lot of time to play a lot of people. So I don't think you're coming back with an inexperienced football team, just a young football team.
Coach Barry mentioned to me that the thing that worried him so much about Pikeville was their size. They just kind of pounded down your throat, and I'm sure they'll be looking to try and stop the run first and then the pass.
Well, the Panthers trying an approach that they have made famous, and that is just going straight up the middle. It has always been a Pikeville thought that you can always break the backbone of another team by pushing the ball straight up the middle, and once you do that, it kind of demoralizes the defense, I guess.
course, Coach Alara mentioned that Caudle will have to mix in the throws because they don't have the size that was so prevalent in past years. And, of course, the running backs, not only are they injured, but a lot of good guys are out this year.
Split to the left.
It's on the ground.
A fumble. It is still loose. Pikeville gets back on it. Christian Caudle, after the ball was kicked, slapped, and finally booted around, was able to get on it at the 40-yard line. And not bad, Jim. He picked up about a half yard on that play.
Looked like the offense there a little bit out of sync, and that's going to happen early in the year. A little bit of confusion in the backfield. Big third down call here.
I'm interested in seeing how the Panthers put the football in the air. In years past, they were not an air attack team, but last couple of years winning the state championships, they did mix in the pass, and I think it is something that won them those state titles. Third down, long 6. It is number 30 coming through, and he is going to pick up the first down, and on a good run, that is Shane Alara. All the way down to about the 31-yard line.
Like Brandon Berger, also Curtis Ellman came up with the stop.
Makes you wonder where Pikeville gets year after year, all these good running backs. It'll be a first down and 10 from the 31. 4 minutes, 20 seconds to go in the first period of play. Pikeville trying to threaten a score early on. Ends the tight for Caudle. This is Alara, right side, and he is going to be dropped this time for a loss. Unique situation, Jim, and I hadn't thought of this until just now, but last year and the year before, we talked all about Hillard Howard coaching his son, Jason Howard. Was it hard? You've got the same scenario. Of course, it is Bill Alara coaching his son, Shane Alara.
Well, I think it is hard. However, if both the father and son can accept that there maybe will be a difference here and there and accept their roles in the sort of the situation, that it can be quite beneficial for both as they grow closer.
Second down and 11. What a lick in the backfield. It is Woods going down. And
that was the quarterback, Wilmhoff, who also doubles as linebacker, Keith. Coach Barry is concerned about that. To get a shot at number 12. He feels like he is the best athlete on the team, and he's a little bit scared in putting his top quarterback, who threw for over 2,000 yards, on defense as a linebacker.
What happened to the good old days of Joe Namath, where the quarterback was protected, not in there making tackles from linebacker?
It's in Class A football that just the enrollments aren't big enough to really have different units on both offense and defense. And you see, Caudle there didn't like the setup. They're going to go for the timeout. But, you know, the last couple of years, Pikeville has had that depth, Keith, that a number of other teams haven't had in Class A, and that might be one thing that has caused them to come up with 3 state titles in a row.
See, one of the assistant coaches and one of my buddies, Gene Davis. Gene and I did a lot of broadcasting together over the years. He put up with me somehow, and I didn't return to coaching. He was with the Panthers last year. He's just a marvelous person.
There's the big tiger paw.
You know, one thing about the Panthers, they've had a complete overhaul change. Ken Trivet, athletic director, has gone. Hillard Howard, football coach, stepped down. Bill Alara now coaching. Libby White girls basketball coach has stepped down. Of course, Ken Trivet was also the boys basketball coach. Howard Wallen is back. So you had a complete turnaround, and everyone that was involved with athletics here at Pikeville High School all in 1 year, Jim. Rather unusual.
Somehow I got the feeling that the tradition will continue. Get a shot there of Steve Bailey. At Marshall now, I believe, right, Keith?
Right.
Thundering Herd.
Now the Panthers will talk it over. They didn't like how they were set up last time, so it's a long 3rd and 11. 1-inch split wide to the left. Caudle is looking, rolling. He needs someone to throw to, and almost picked off. Jim, excellent defense that time by Beechwood. They had everybody smothered. The intended receiver was Mary Garvin, but Garvin had 2 men on him that time.
Play by Rodney Williams to come up, smell things out. Nearly came up with the INT. And Pikeville in 4-down territory here, Keith, and I guess here's the first really big decision for Coach Bill Allaire. Will they go ahead and go for it? It's 4th and 11. They're on their 31 of Beechwood, and looks like they'll go for it here.
Well, this is a situation that punts in the first half or the first game worked out. We'll see what Pikeville does, and it is not good. Caudle picks it up off the fumble. He'll go down at the 40, and I'm sure the Pikeville coaching staff did not mean for that to happen.
I think it was a tremendous play called, though. They had everything going to the right side, the far side of the field, and they had a wall set up for a reverse to come back to the near side towards our cameras here, and there was a wall set up. I think Lance Rose was the man who they intended to get the pitch to, but it just didn't happen. Good call there because I think most of the flow for Beechwood had gone initially after the ball. Only problem, they had a mix-up in the backfield because the intended receiver at that time wasn't even looking for the football. Beechwood takes over 1st and 10 from the 37. Wilmhoff handing off at the middle. It is Berger. He's got some room to run out on the end of the field. He breaks the tackle, and it is Berger going all the way down to the 20, the 10, and he is going to carry it in for the touchdown. Jim, it is going to be a 62-yard touchdown run for Berger. Unbelievable. Brandon Berger, only a sophomore, and he takes it 62 yards. Well, we talked about the big play capabilities of Beechwood throughout the years. They haven't been the grinded-out type of team. They have been the kind of team that can strike quickly. That really just looked like a sort of a counterplay off to the left and a huge hole up front.
Well, he had some running room, and I think Berger showed us some speed that time. 5'10", 180 pounds, and we know now that he can scoot down the sideline. Beechwood on for the extra points. The attempt is on the way, and it is good. And the Beechwood Tigers have taken a shocking lead over Pikeville early on, 7-0 with 2 minutes, 7 seconds to play on a 62-yard run for a touchdown. That has to be the run so far of the bowl.
Without question. Of course, Dale Oliver had one from 45 yards. But Brandon Berger, explosive speed, didn't really anticipate that he had that type of speed. And you see the folks in the red shirts. Looks like red is the lucky color. It's Beechwood. Draws first blood, and something Pikeville hasn't experienced too much in this Pikeville National Bank Pike County Bowl, and that's being behind, Keith.
Well, you're absolutely right. And I'm sure it's something that Coach Bill Allaire doesn't want to stay that way. I'm sorry, Jim. I was just noticing the press box.
I'm telling you. Boy, there's nothing like good old bowl action, is there?
Beautiful, beautiful facility.
Yes.
And the way it is laid out.
Oh, yeah.
Well, the Panthers now, if they had any jitters, they've got to be gone. They're finding themselves down now. 7-0 to the Beechwood Tigers. Of course, they've come from behind before. It is going to be a rather short kick. Lance Rose having problems with it. Now he picks it up. Pardon me, that is Allaire. Allaire across the 20. He's caught, brought back, and he'll be dropped. The Panthers seem like, I don't know, Jim, they just haven't been able to get their hands on the football so far.
A lot of white shirts there. Last man up off the pile was 62, Chris Fetter.
A lot of emotion in this ball game. A lot of injuries for Pikeville. The first ball game in 18 years that Coach Hillard Howard has not been there. And, of course, the tragedy with this team with Jason Blackburn and his family. So it's really going to be a trying night for the Panthers. Here's Allaire through the middle. He scampers for about 4 yards straight up the middle. Shane Allaire, a returning starter from the backfield from last year.
A gain of 5 yards on the play, 2nd and 5, Panthers.
Picks up 5. Well, we thought Beechwood would do it in the air. They did just the opposite, Jim, by doing it on the ground.
They did that, Keith, and Pikeville now doing a good job on the ground as well.
Oh, off to Lance Rose. across the 50 and down to the 45. There is a penalty flag down. Lance Rose that time. Did you see the tackle he broke? He actually ran over a man. Two defenders brought him down, but we have a penalty flag, and this one looks like it might be a big one and would be against Beechwood.
Got to believe that would be a face mask call there. As perhaps number 31, Rodney Williams, got a hand in the mask as he was bringing him to the turf. Big run by Rose.
Well, the Panthers doing a good job of bouncing back. After giving up the touchdown and the extra point, Pikeville has put themselves in a position to threaten again to score. Ball resting on the 31-yard line.
And look there, you see, I told you he'd be back on the other side, right? There he is for Pikeville now. Always supporting our mountain team.
Lockhart, number 32, all the way down to about the 21. He'll pick up about 5 yards. Noble's just so excited because his weather report is right that he's all over the place.
As you mentioned, were it raining, I don't think you'd see quite as jubilant a Jeff Noble.
He has a way of flaunting it, doesn't he?
Clock ticking down. We've just got about 20 seconds to play. If this is not a pass, Keith, probably the last play of the quarter.
2nd and 1. It is Alera. He has some room up the middle. Shane across down to the 10.
Big holes up front, Keith, as the offensive line from Pikeville blowing guys out. That's Cochran, Honaker, Adkins, Blackburn, Collins. Those fellas are...
Boy, I don't know what Alera said after that touchdown, but whatever he said, it sure did change this Pikeville team. That will be the end of the first period of play, and after one complete, the Beechwood Tigers have taken a lead over the Pikeville Panthers, 7-0. We'll be back for second quarter action at the Pikeville National Pike County Bowl.
If you're up in the air over high home loan costs and your dream seems like it's blowing in the wind, come to Pikeville National for some down-to-earth information that can help turn your dream home into reality. Fixed rate, adjustable rate, and VA home loans with up to 30 years financing to qualified applicants are available from the home loan specialist at Pikeville National. And with our home loan money line, getting started is a breeze. Share your American dream with Pikeville National Bank and Trust, an equal housing lender, member FDIC.
Action auction, and how much will you give for it? Hugo, 51.
On Tuesday, August 28th at 7 p.m., it's another action auction. There will be 2 tracts auctioned off on the South Mayo Trail in Pikeville. Tract 1, 1/2 acre of land adjacent to the Mayo Professional Building, suitable for offices or commercial buildings. And Tract 2, a 6-room house situated on a 1/2 acre lot in the city school district. You don't want to miss this opportunity, so be there, bid, and buy.
95, and 100, and 100, 110.
It's been a long-standing tradition with Clay Building Supply to provide the best in merchandise and service to the local community. And Charlie and Freddie McWhirter are proud to be serving the Laurel and Whitley County areas with the newest store in London. Clay Building Supply has everything you need, whether you're a contractor or a do-it-yourselfer. The newest location is on the 192 bypass in London. Yes, we're bigger and better, but still a family business taking pride in the community. So come join the family at Clay Building Supply in London, Manchester, and Burning Springs.
Hello, I'd like to invite you to watch a very moving documentary that could be vital to your family or someone you know in our area. It's about the wonderful care Corsair Children's Hospital has been providing for the kids of Kentucky and surrounding states for the last 98 years. If kids are important to you, yours or someone else's, don't miss giving children a chance.
Well, the cheerleaders are certainly enjoying this resurgent Pikeville Panther team as they trying to narrow the gap. 7-0. Beechwood leads it. Brandon Berger went 62 yards. Extra point was tacked on by Mike Reigert, and they lead it 7-0, but the Pikeville Panthers knocking on the door and doing it with that terrific running game, Keith.
I like how you put that. Well, the Panthers looking at a first down and 10 situation. Caudle handing off. It is Lance Rose off right side. He gets away from the tackle. The football is fumbled in the end zone, and it is recovered for a touchdown by Shane Alara. Well, that's not the way, Jim Frazier. You draw it up on the chalkboard, but I'll tell you one thing. Bill Alara and the Panthers will take that play.
You can feel the electricity as Coach Alara with his first touchdown for his team, and who winds up scoring that first touchdown in his coaching career? His boy.
Isn't that something? Well, I'm sure that's something that he'll remember. Bill Alara in his first game as head coach of the Panthers, and Shane Alara will pick up the touchdown, and he does so off a fumble. Number 55, Jason Howell, will be on for the extra point. It is on the way, and it is good.
Man, he drilled that ball, Keith. That thing would have been good from 35 yards out.
Well, it's that quickly. The Panthers took about 2 minutes to strike back. It seems to be a typical Beechwood Pikeville ball game. We are tied at 7. You can hear the Panthers with their chant and their theme song in the back. She's wanting to know what time this ball game ends. I'm pretty sure. Everyone else excited.
Got the band up and the team stands, fans are up, and I think we're really set for a good one here, Keith. Pikeville may be running the ball a little bit better than I thought they would this early in the game against Beechwood. This Beechwood team, no slouch. They, although they are, maybe Coach Alara says maybe we aren't deserving of the #1 ranking, I think Beechwood is certainly deserving of as high ranking as they get.
When he said that, he said yes. I think he wants to be #1. He just doesn't want to take it before he earns it. Well, a good deep kick, and it's brought back by Keith Schilling. All the way across the 30 to about the 33. And Beechwood will take over where it's 1st and 10. You know, the Tigers that time, after playing such good defense, Jim, where you said that devastating running game, but they were kind of manhandled on the line.
From their own 33-yard line.
Beechwood Tigers have had a history, Keith, of good quarterbacks. Rob Whitten, who quarterbacked him like 3 years ago, went on to BYU, played a little bit as a freshman. Of course, Andy Best played wide receiver for Whitten and then moved into the quarterback slot for his junior and senior years. And now they got Craig Wilmhoff, who passed for over 2,000. A little down and out.
Looking for Schilling. It is knocked loose and recovered by Schilling.
Big hit there, though, Keith. That was 15, I believe, Scott Collins, who came over and stripped him of the ball.
Lockhart might have got the hand in there and stripped him. It looked as if, though, but Pikeville had 3 maroon jerseys there, Jim. They just couldn't get back on the football. Schilling, great presence of mind to turn around and get on top of that ball. Almost another break for the Pikeville Panthers. I have a feeling that you're right. This has all the makings of an exciting football game.
You can almost feel the, of course, Pikeville's been under some tough circumstances the past few days, but you can almost feel the emotion really getting up now.
Wilmhoff going deep. It is tipped away, and we are going to get a penalty flag on that.
I think that will be offensive, Keith. Unless I miss my guess, I think this will be offensive pass interference.
Well, you are right. Keith Lockhart, number 11, was the man deep. He had the inside track on that ball, Jim. So there was really no way they were going to call him. I didn't think there should be a flag at all, but it is going to go against Beechwood.
Keith, I've been noticing Shane Alara, and you know, a lot of times when all this emotion and all those kind of things, you have a tough time getting your breath and getting your wind back. And I've noticed Shane coming over the sidelines virtually exhausted a couple of times. You know, sometimes you feel that when all the emotion in there, a lot of times you maybe lose a little bit of your stamina.
Sean Neely, former Pikeville Panther. Maybe that's it. Maybe I'm just an emotional person.
That's it.
That's why I say it's not that I'm out of shape, right, Jim? It's just that I'm very emotional.
That's it.
I have a new understanding about myself.
We've got a whole year to go with this, so you're going to get a lot of understanding.
Beechwood looking at a 3rd down at just about 20. Wilmhoff on the draw play. Man working through the middle, still on his feet. It is Berger again, out across the 35. down to the 37, and Brandon Berger has been the powerhouse in the backfield tonight for Beechwood. He'll pick up about 13 to 14 yards on that play. Not quite enough for a first down, and Beechwood is going to be forced to kick this one away.
Nice play there by number 5, Keith Schilling. The wideout had an opportunity to give a clip and really didn't have a blocking opportunity, and he laid back and didn't do that. Therefore, Beechwood able to get a little bit better field position for the punt. Had Schilling clipped, that would have brought him even deeper, and Beechwood hasn't punted the ball very well so far.
Well, it is Berger to kick. It is a high one and a short one. Rose again can't hold on to it, and Beechwood is going to come up with the ball. It is number 32. The first official has called it dead. The second one said no. He took it out of his hands, and
Charlie
it is going to belong to Beechwood.
Charlie Mesher came up Johnny on the spot.
Well, the Panthers have had, this is the third time they've had trouble controlling the kickoff. Rose that time had it go through his hands, recovered it, but Mesher actually pulled that ball out of his arms.
And look at the crowd.
Tremendous. I would imagine we are just about 5,000 or maybe more on hand. 6th annual Pike County Bowl, and what a crowd we have.
Beechwood loves the double slot. It's almost like your run and shoot offense.
Wilmoff looking for his man. It's complete. Out around the 20, down to the 25. It is number 34, Joey Johnson, who makes the catch.
Joey Johnson, 5'8", 170, and I don't know if our Joey Johnson could have hauled that one in, but he would have given it the big heart.
Jim, I'm afraid the Panthers are going to have a little bit of trouble. I think I know those people. See, there's Jennifer, there's Ken, there's Sandra, and Tracy. How'd I do?
Okay, I guess.
Panthers right now looking at an offensive team that is making it on the ground and in the air. Wilmoff this time keeps it on the ground. It is Brandon Berger. He bowls over one. Finally brought down, and he is down inside the 5-yard line. Beechwood looking awesome at this point. Well, anytime these two teams have gotten together, Jim, it's always been a high-scoring event. Tonight's ball game starting out that same way. 8 minutes and 36 seconds to go in the first half, and we are tied at 7. And the Beechwood Tigers now inside the 5-yard line looking at a first down and goal situation.
It's like they'll switch the offense up and go out of the wishbone this time.
Wilmoff hands it off. It's through the middle, and it is in for a touchdown. Brandon Berger. That is his second score of the night. So he gets a 2-yard touchdown, and he's got a 62-yard touchdown. Well, a good crowd from Beechwood tonight, but you sure hear the silence. And you can see Pikeville side not cheering on that play.
Like this kicker for Beechwood, Reigert's soccer style. Got a couple of good kickers, Reigert and, of course, 55, Jason Howell for Pikeville. Pretty good foot in that football.
A long way down the snap. It was bobbled, picked up. The kick is on the way, and it's going to be good. Well, the Tigers of Beechwood have taken a 7-point lead, 14-7 over the Pikeville Panthers.
Of course, Keith, the touchdown, a direct result of the turnover on the punt. And I think Pikeville can win this game if they don't turn the ball over and hurt themselves in crippling situations like that. As we mentioned, they've got a lot of injuries, a lot of emotion certainly running through the team. And when you lose the ball with turnovers and that kind of thing, it can take that emotion out of you, take a little bit of the fire out of you. So I think if they can keep from making mistakes like that, they can stay in this game. But now I will assure you that Beechwood is going to put some points on the board.
I think, Jim, something you said about the first game, which is normally true at the beginning of the season, the team that makes the fewest turnovers has a real good chance of winning the ball game. And I think we just saw Pikeville with a turnover, Beechwood capitalizing. And that's one thing that you've got to do. When you get a turnover, you got to go ahead and make it hurt. Put it in there, stick it in for the TD.
First game, unofficially, we had Highlands turning the ball over 6 times. Belfry won, but virtually all of those turnovers led to scores.
Well, the Panthers find themselves trailing once again. Beechwood. Low kick off the ground. This one is bobbled by Cochran, picked up by Lockhart. Up the middle, and Lockhart is going to be dropped right around the 32-yard line.
Big hit by 57, Ronnie Buckland.
Well, Belfry and Fort Thomas Highlands in the opening ball game had each played a game before this one. I'm sure that had a little bit to do with calming them down. In this game, the Panthers are seeing the football for the first time this season.
I think that was exactly the case on that punt there. Is deep back just wanting to do maybe a little bit too much when he really didn't have it.
Caudle, second man through. It is Alera. He hits a brick wall at the line of scrimmage, and Alera may end up losing a yard on that play.
Hey, Keith, something that I've sort of noticed here from Pikeville, the offensive line is really firing out, but I believe the center exchange is somewhat a little slow at this point, and you're always talking about the timing of the situation. I think Pikeville is just about a half beat off.
I'm sure it's going to take a little bit of time for these Panthers to get used to new coach, new situation, new quarterback. And Coach Duffy mentioned that anytime you've got your returning quarterback, you should have an advantage. Caudle looking now, second down and 9. Around the right side, Woods, he coughed it up. It is picked off by Beechwood again. Well, the Panthers with another crucial turnover. I don't see any penalty flags down, Jim, and Beechwood is going to come up with Lady Luck again.
Well, that's Keith Schilling. Johnny on the spot once again, and Pikeville had a good play going that time. They ran it to the short side of the field. We've seen that in both games. Teams having a lot of success to the short side of the field, and you certainly need good blocking in order to do that. But the turnover bugaboo is hanging heavily over Pikeville right now.
I think Woods probably had enough ground that time to pick up a first down. Instead, it is Beechwood with the football. And Pikeville getting into the backfield. They'll trip up number 34, Joey Johnson, after about a 2-yard gain. Pardon me, about a half-yard loss. Beautiful shot of the American flag and the Pikeville National Bank building. And, of course, this is the Pikeville National Bank Pike County Bowl, the 6th annual.
What a game we've got, 14-7 here.
Sure is
Beechwood
nice
on top.
to see that red, white, and blue.
Old Glory.
With everything going on in the Middle East right now. Wilmoff looking to pass. He has a man open just off his hand. Lockhart laid a lick on. It was Joey Johnson again this time.
Well, the defense, Coach Alera said, is going to have to carry him early. And right now they're going to have to dig down. If Pikeville got in a 2-touchdown hole, Keith, I think it would be a big problem for them. If somehow they can shut this drive down, I think they've got a lot better chance. We've seen just almost all the scores that we've seen in both of the games have come as a result of turnovers.
Third down and 11. Man in motion for Wilmoff. Looking right across the middle. It is complete. It is going to be very near a first down, Jim.
Lance Rose came up to make the stop just shy of the first down marker. It's going to be 4th down, about half a yard, and that was a big tackle by Rose. I really like Wilmoff, Keith. He does so many things well, and Coach Barry told me he felt like he was the best athlete on the team. I'd be amazed if they punt the ball here. It's only 4th and about half a yard.
Well, I would too. The way Berger has carried the football, I think it would be a safe bet to give it to him, but instead they are going to allow Berger to kick this one away. So, Jim, you stand amazed.
Well, I do stand amazed. I think they're going to hit him with a penalty here.
Yes.
Delay of game.
Now, this is a crucial mistake for Beechwood, and I think they made this one mentally, not on the field. They had a 4th down and 1, a clear situation that they could have either gone for or at least got off a good kick. They're going to take a 5-yard penalty instead. Yes, my friend.
I tell you what, there's nothing like the fans in the stands. Here it.
Well, where is the Sturge when I need it? Ladies and gentlemen, Madonna in attendance tonight.
And as you mentioned, Keith, a mental mistake here by Beechwood.
High kick by Berger. I think Pikeville will call for a fair catch. It will take a Pikeville bounce back to about the 25, and I think the Panthers came away on that exchange to the better.
I think so. Of course, Keith, you know, they were back about the 36-yard line or so. Would have been the try for the first down, but really punting it and all that, they only put them back 10 more yards. You could virtually have gone ahead and tried for the first down, maybe put a little bit more pressure on them. I don't think I'm reading things wrong when I say I think Pikeville's on the ropes a little bit here early. If they would have gotten maybe another couple of first downs, it could have at least gotten into field goal territory for Reichert. Could have been a big play there. Pikeville dodged a bullet.
Caudle, Garvin split wide to the left. He hands it off to Lockhart up the middle. We'll get across the 30 out to about the 31. Good pickup of about 5. Panthers need to control the football with 4 minutes and 28 seconds left in this first half. Even if they don't score, Jim, I think it's to their advantage to keep the clock, keep the football, and if nothing else, go in at halftime only down by 7.
Big offensive line. Blowing some holes open right now.
Here's Caudle. He keeps it out to the right side. Quarterback option, and it is going to be Caudle dropped in about the 48. Pardon me, the 38, 39, but he'll pick up the first down.
B.C. Newsom, number 53, you see him there. Nice block in the right flat to free Caudle up for an extra couple of yards and the first down. Good block by the senior.
You know, that time Caudle was following number 75, a junior, DeAnthony Honecker, who weighs in at a nice 260 pounds. Not a bad blocker to have in front of you. Caudle looking for Helby. He's got some room out and crosses the 50, or pardon me, 45. Only problem we're having tonight is the announcer finding the yard marker.
Well, a nice little possession here for Pikeville as they try and take a little bit of the steam out of the Tigers. Clock ticking down. We got 3 minutes and change to play first half, and Pikeville trailing by 7.
You know, if the Panthers can get those 5- and 6-yard gains consistently, and they will again as Alara crosses the 50, picks up the first down to the 48-yard line. Now, the Panthers have shaken off some jitters, some turnovers. They've had just about everything that you can have bother them in this first half of football, Jim, and they're still in this ball game, 14-7.
Having a lot of success running the ball. You wonder if maybe they might try and get Caudle a pass on first down. You see Beechwood now calling timeout. Not sure. They might have been a man short out there. I would think maybe if they were going to try and pass the ball, Pikeville, maybe they'd want to do it on first down when maybe everybody isn't expecting that. Of course, they've had good success on the ground.
Well, the Panthers at this point, I'm sure, are looking for something to work, whether it's in the air or on the ground. But the one thing they must do, they've already made a good start. They stopped Beechwood after giving up good field position. So the defense did their job. Now it's time for the offense to get in gear and hopefully put some points on this board for the Pikeville Panthers. Getting a lot of liquid. It is still warm, even though I think around 90 degrees when we opened up this evening. That was around 6 o'clock with the opening ball game. Since then, I'm sure we've fallen off some, but I think we're still in the low 80s. So not your typical football weather, so to speak.
Of course, Beechwood has been knocked out of the state semifinals 3 years in a row by Pikeville. Coach Barry did win a state championship back in '84. So You've got 4 state titles between these two teams. A lot of tradition, Class A Kentucky high school football.
Caudle looking to throw. It is up for Garvin, and Garvin got a hand on it to tip it away, and it's a good thing because Beechwood had defended that play, and had Garvin not tipped the football, more than likely that ball would have been picked off, Jim.
Well, I think that was a good call by Coach Bill Allaire, not just because I thought they might throw, but because it was first down, and there was not as much pressure on Caudle there. But you got to tip your hat to Coach Barry and the Beechwood staff. They had it smelled out, and as you mentioned, the receiver was double covered back there.
Well, the Panthers now looking at 2nd and 10, throwing on first down. Caudle looking to throw on second. He'll put it up now for Garvin. It is off his hands again, almost intercepted. Number 5 that time, Keith Schilling of Beechwood, had hands all over the ball. He just simply could not pull it in.
Good presence of mind that time by Caudle. He was close to going over the line of scrimmage, but he stepped back and got the ball off, and I believe Garvin could have pulled that one in right through his hands.
Well, Pikeville now looking at a long 3rd down and 10. They've passed on the first 2 downs. Let's see what Caudle will do. Woods goes wide to the right. Cochran split. Christian Caudle dropping back. Pressure is on, and he is going to be dropped. Well, Lance Rose did not see number 57 coming that time.
Ronnie
Buckland. Number 57 makes a sack on channel 57.
Sounds good to me.
Well, the Panthers do little with an opportunity this time, and with 2 minutes and 10 seconds remaining, they'll face what looks to be a 4th down and about 16, and it will be Shane Alera dropping back to kick this one away.
I believe Pikeville's a man short out here. There's 2 men short. They've only got 9 guys, I think. No, there's 11 now.
They're going to get a 5-yard penalty. These are some of the things, Jim, that you got to expect in your first ball game of the season. A few miscues, and that time the Panthers were shy a man. Then they had 1 too many, and by the time they got everything straightened out, it was going to be a 5-yard penalty, and Pikeville will be kicking from the 41.
You know, Keith, in the pros, you see it so much more, but special teams, when the teams are pretty evenly matched, a lot of times special teams can turn the tide. I know it does in the pros so much, college a little bit less, probably high school a little bit less than that, but you have seen some big plays on special teams here. Beechwood coming up with a fumble that led to the go-ahead touchdown.
Good kick by Alera. Schilling dropped it. It is loose on the ground, and it is going to be Beechwood, I think, with the ball. 32 Lockhart was right there. He tried to take it out of the hands of Schilling, return the favor, but he could not. And Beechwood will control the football just about the 20-yard line, and they'll have about 1 minute and 38 seconds to work with.
Once again, Keith, another big special teams play there. I really like the way this Lockhart kid plays. Kevin Lockhart has come up with a number of big hits here in this first half.
Well, you've got twins, Kevin Lockhart and Keith Lockhart.
Well, I know their folks are proud.
Doubly. Well, Beechwood will have 1 minute and 14 seconds to see what they can do, leading this ball game 14-7. Wilmholm on a quarterback keeper. He is across the 30, and he is bowled over at the 35.
Not a bad.
You got to like Wilmholm, Jim, because he wants to play linebacker. He likes to get in there and butt heads. Seems to be just a tremendous athlete.
A lot of times that type of play there, Keith, will just go on the center and the quarterback. Really not, maybe not the rest of the guys involved on the thing. If Wilmhoff looks and sees a gaping hole up there, the Tigers have the type of offense. They'll run the double slots, the double wideouts with only one back. That Berger, they've got the type of offense that can move the ball down the field quickly.
And in motion, Wilmhoff hands it off up the middle, and it is Jason Blackman, number 60. He makes the stop behind the line, and that is going to be a loss of 3 to 4 yards. Jason, of course, as we mentioned at the top of the broadcast, playing tonight with tragedy in his family. And everyone trying to pull around him and be with him on this night.
Somewhat of a strange call that time by Coach Barry. I thought maybe they'd try and open it up a little bit more, but I guess they are content. We're inside 10 seconds to play. You might have seen the last snap of the first half.
These guys on the sidelines working the cameras tonight, Tim Haynes and the gang having a fine time watching the fans, and we'll watch this first half come to an end. And as it does, Beechwood, the Tigers, right now leading the defending Class A state champs Pikeville 14-7. We'll return right after these messages.
Your Sears store in Pikeville is full of good ideas for improvements inside and outside your home. Redo your kitchen with quality cabinets, windows, or maybe a new door. And Sears has quality Kenmore appliances for the best prices. Visit Sears Entertainment Department where you'll find a new TV, VCR, or stereo system to spice up your living room. Sears in Pikeville even has an automotive department and service center for your convenience. Visit them in the Town & Country Shopping Center in Pikeville. They're open Monday through Saturday from 8:30 a.m. until 8 p.m. or call the toll-free number and place your order, 1-800-633-3000.
Come on, play the game where everybody wins. Play it once and play again. Every time you play, you win. Come on, don't you know it's true? It's a game you just can't lose from Pepsi. Everyone wins with Pepsi in the Heartland. Great prizes from Universal Studios, Kodak, Frito-Lay, even Oldsmobiles. It tastes the people too. Come on, you know the Heartland's true. To the red, white, and blue of Pepsi.
You could win 2 free Frito-Lay grab bags or other prizes when you buy specially marked Pepsi products.
We appreciate your business. To make sure you get the message, your friends at Happy Mart are giving away $10,000. Register now at all Happy Mart Coleman Oil locations. Each week, for the next 13 weeks, one lucky Happy Mart customer will win a deluxe family vacation for 4 at the Myrtle Beach Hilton. Plus, on Labor Day, you could walk away with $10,000 in your pocket. No purchase necessary. Register every week. Details available at all Happy Mart Coleman Oil locations.
Action, auction, and how much will you give for it? Who go 50?
On Tuesday, August 28th at 7 p.m., it's another action auction. There will be 2 tracts auctioned off on the South Mayo Trail in Pikeville. Tract 1, 1/2 acre of land adjacent to the Mayo Professional Building, suitable for offices or commercial buildings. And Tract 2, a 6-room house situated on a 1/2 acre lot in the city school district. You don't want to miss this opportunity, so be there, bid, and buy.
95, and 100, and 100, 110.
The Beechwood Tigers lead at 14-7 over the Pikeville Panthers here at the halftime. Recapping the scoring, Beechwood got on the board first. Brandon Berger went in from 62 yards out. The extra point was tacked on by Mike Reichert, and Beechwood led 7-0 there in the first quarter. That's how the first quarter came to a close. At the beginning of the second quarter, Shane Alara fell on the football in the end zone. Lance Rose had been carrying it. He coughed it up. Alara fell on it in the end zone for the touch. Extra point was tacked on by number 55, Jason Howe, and that tied this thing up at 7. And then after a turnover, Brandon Berger took one in from 2 yards out. Extra point was tacked on by Reichert, and that's the way we are here at the half. 14-7, as you see the Pikeville marching band performing. Quickly, some statistics. Rushing-wise, team-wise, we're dead even. Pikeville has 22 carries for 115 yards. Beechwood, 10 carries for 115 yards. Passing, Beechwood 5 of 6 for 43 yards, and Pikeville 0 of 4, no yards. First downs in the game, Beechwood with 6, Pikeville with 5. Turnovers could be the difference. Beechwood has not turned it over, while Pikeville turned it over 1 time, and that turnover led to the second touchdown for Beechwood, and that's the way we are at the half. Beechwood leading it by 7, 14-7. We're going to take this break right now, and we'll return with the start of our second half after these messages.
Come on, play the game where everybody wins. Play it once and play again. Every time you play, you win. Come on, don't you know it's true? It's a game you just can't lose from Pepsi. Everyone wins with Pepsi in the Heartland. Great prizes from Universal Studios, Kodak, Frito-Lay, even Oldsmobiles. It tastes the people too. Come on, you know the Heartland's true. To the red, white, and blue of Pepsi.
You could win win 2 free Frito-Lay grab bags or other prizes when you buy specially marked Pepsi products.
Dad, I love you and Mom a lot, but sometimes. Now look, the 55 Plus Club at Pikeville National has all kinds of benefits, like no monthly fee on regular checking, no issue charge on cashier's checks or money orders, travel and merchants discounts, an ID card with your picture on it. You already joined.
Yep.
Mom too, I suppose? By the way, where is Mom?
Aerobics class. Now, when do we get to see those free $10 savings accounts for each newborn grandchild?
Oh, Daddy.
Your Sears store in Pikeville is full of good ideas for improvements inside and outside your home. Redo your kitchen with quality cabinets, windows, or maybe a new door. And Sears has quality Kenmore appliances for the best prices. Visit Sears Entertainment Department, where you'll find a new TV, VCR, or stereo system to spice up your living room. Sears in Pikeville even has an automotive department and service center for your convenience. Visit them in the Town & Country Shopping Center in Pikeville. They're open Monday through Saturday from 8:30 a.m. until 8 p.m. or call the toll-free number and place your order, 1-800-633-3000.
The Black Gold Tennis Open will be held in Hazard September 14th through the 16th. Events featured will be men's open singles, 18 and under, men's Bs, men's 35s, men's 45s, and men's open doubles. Also, women's open singles, women's Bs, and women's open doubles. Entry fee is $10 for singles, $15 for doubles teams. Players may obtain an entry form by calling 436-4200 or writing to Hazard Tennis League, City of Hazard, 700 Main Street, Hazard, Kentucky. Deadline for entries is Monday, September 10th at 9 a.m.
Welcome back to the Hamley Athletic Complex. It is Beechwood leading over Pikeville 14-7 here in the nightcap of the Pikeville National Bank Pike County Bowl. I'm Keith Kingsford along with Jim Frazier. We've had quite an evening of football, Jim. The weather couldn't have cooperated any better than it has this evening. I think now it's somewhat cooler than when we started out. Belfry and Fort Thomas Highlands had the dubious honor of opening up a 90-degree temperature. We're down somewhere around 79, 78. A little bit more comfortable for Pikeville and Beechwood here on the field.
No question about that, Keith. And if we look at this second half, some of the keys to the game, I think Pikeville is going to have more success throwing the ball. They were 0 of 4 there in that first half. And they, of course, matched Beechwood for rushing yardage, 115 for each team. If they could just somehow manage to pick up some big plays through the air, I think that would help them out a lot. Beechwood, you know that Wilmhoff will throw the ball. He's 5 of 6 in the first half for 43 yards. No touchdowns yet, but if that secondary from Pikeville could sort of rise up and be counted here in this second half, maybe come up with a couple of interceptions, they could turn the tide. Only one turnover in the game, and that was Pikeville's. And it led to the score, which looks like we've got a monster here in the booth, big old moth. But that one turnover did lead to the one score. That put Beechwood out on top. And as we begin this second half of action, it's your play-by-play, Keith Casebolt.
Thanks, Jim. We have a low kick from the Pikeville Panthers that is going to be taken by Beechwood at about the 36-yard line. So quickly, the Tigers will have fairly good field position to open up the second half. By the way, I might mention on the public address tonight, a good friend of mine, Randy Jones, who is one of the better radio men I've ever come across.
He's a good one. Does the PA work up here and does a super job. Been doing it here for a number of years, hasn't he?
2 fine children, Corey and Austin, who take after their mother. It'll be 1st and 10 for Beechwood. Wilmhoff opens up, puts it on the ground, and it is Brandon Berger through the middle. Alera holding on to his jersey, and they are going to game tackle him. What a run by Brandon Berger. He had the 62-yard touchdown run in the first half, the 2-yard touchdown run, scored twice. But Jim Frazier, I think Berger just showed how strong he really is. He's only a sophomore. They list him at 5'10" and 180 pounds.
Well, what Beechwood does, Keith, is spread the field so well because they only use one back, but they'll put the other halfbacks kind of in slots, and they'll put the wideouts to both sides. It spreads the field, and they do a remarkable job running the ball just to have one setback.
The way Berger's carrying the ball, they only need one back to carry it. He has been tremendous. Well, Beechwood didn't like what they were seeing that time, so they're going to call for a timeout and talk that over. But quickly, the Tigers have struck for good ground, and they're going to be in scoring position the way it looks right now. Pikeville trailing here, opening up the third quarter, 14-7. I'm sure the Pikeville fans are a little shocked. They're not really used to seeing a Panther team behind in a ball game.
I believe the last time these teams met here in Pikeville back in '88 is, of course, the state semifinals, and Pikeville and Beechwood dueled to a 7-7 game at the half, and then Pikeville's greater depth and size just blew them out. They wound up winning that semifinal game, something like 34-7. Coach Barry told me that he was worried about the depth, worried about the size of Pikeville and what they could do in the second half. Really, it looks to me like both of these teams are pretty well evenly matched, and I think that speaks well for both teams.
Well, I don't think Pikeville near as big or has anywhere the depth that they have had in the last couple of years. And Beechwood playing a good ball game right now. Pikeville's made several mistakes on their own, so if they can cure that and hopefully get back into this game. End around on the carry, it is number 32 for Beechwood, and he is going to pick up a lot of real estate. Charlie Messer all the way across the 30, inside down to about the 20-yard line. Actually, they're going to mark it about the 21, and Beechwood coming out in this third quarter resembling what Belfry did, Jim.
Getting the ground game going early, but Keith have an illegal use of the hands flag that was dropped down around the first down marker. That will be marked off from the point of the foul. So depending, of course, I don't believe that certainly came after the play. So they will march him back, and it'll wind up being like a 1st and 12, something like that here. Official will give us the signal. Illegal use of the hands against Beechwood, and a break for Pikeville.
Well, the Panthers need a few breaks at this point. They caught one on the touchdown, an actual fumble into the end zone that Shayna Lara recovered for the TD. That doesn't happen too often.
Nope.
Beechwood looking at a first down at just about 12 now from about the 42. End split wide, and it is Wilmhoff handing off to Berger up the middle. Berger again gaining about 4 yards.
Like Anthony Honaker and Lance Rose in on the stop there for the Panthers. Beechwood getting big chunks of yards, Keith, on first down, and certainly is to their benefit to have second and short calls versus second and long. So gives them so many more options. I got to believe, looks like we're looking at about 2nd and 7 or so here. Got to believe they'll put the ball up in the air pretty quickly.
Wilmhoff dropping back, and he will look to put it up. He's going to be short, and just that, short of the intended receiver, Brandon Berger.
Good coverage by Todd Williams, the senior, out in the left flat. Really not much to go to.
Jim, really, I thought that's where Beechwood would be the most dangerous and the most harmful to the Panthers, would be in the air. I don't think it's necessarily been that true. It has been more so the running of Brandon Berger.
Without question, as you mentioned, the run of the Pike County Bowl, 62 yards to pay dirt. Brandon Berger took Beechwood to the promised land, 6 points.
Wilmhoff looking at a 3rd down and 7. Joey Johnson in motion, and Wilmhoff looking for some time. Presses on by Cochran. He gets it away, and he led it beautifully, and it is dropped. Brandon Berger, you got to give credit to Wilmhoff. He put that ball right out where it had to be. Berger ran right underneath it, but he forgot to make the catch.
Looked like Shayna Lara was back there on the defense, a very quick fella himself, Keith, but as you mentioned, Wilmhoff laid the ball up perfectly, and Berger really showed good acceleration in getting to the ball.
Oh, the real thinking people on top of the Hatcher Press facility.
Well, Pikeville's defense stiffens and forces the punt. Of course, the last time they were to try and field a punt, they turned it over.
Well, Berger will put the boot into it. It is, again, a short punt, angling for the sideline, and it will bounce into the end zone. So the Pikeville Panthers get 2 breaks. One, they stop the drive of Beechwood, and they'll get the ball out on the 20-yard line, which will give them a little room to work with. So I think good turn of events for the Pikeville Panthers, Jim, but they can't keep getting these kind of things happening without taking advantage of them and putting points on the board?
Well, I think the Panthers are finding out that they can, in fact, play with people up on the state level once again, even though they've lost a number of good players. I think as you see them gain confidence, I think you'll see them perform much better. Nice run there. They're gaining yards on the ground.
Shane Allaire that time going behind the lead block and really edging out some ground that time the hard way, but we do have a penalty flag down, and it is going to be holding against the Pikeville Panthers, which will nullify the good run by Allaire.
Now the mistakes that have cost them so far have been the penalties and the one turnover. And as we mentioned, if you don't get some type of good yardage on first down, you're really hurting.
Well, the Panthers now will be down where they don't want to be. As you see, standing room only tonight for the ball game. Or should I say ball games. Panthers will be starting from their 10-yard line. It'll be a first down and 20. Cardinal has Lockhart split wide to the right. On the option, he pitched it back to Rose. He bobbled it, and he's going to be brought down inside the 5, and the Panthers that time really flirting with disaster.
Mike Segrist, Greg Sheets over to make the stop, and they just shut down the corner. Rose had nowhere to go, did a good job of fielding that one. And I think right now Pikeville doesn't want to do anything too fancy. I doubt you'll see him throw it this deep in their own territory. And, you know, Shane Allaire can really kick the ball. If they can get him a little bit of yardage to kick this one, I think they'd be more than happy to do that.
Well, the option has been something the Panthers have had a lot of success with in years past, but not so tonight. This time they'll keep it straight up the middle on the ground, and Pikeville may pick up a yard or two. It is Woods, 41, carrying the football. As you said, Allaire did such a great job pulling that football in, which was on the tip of his fingers. Had he dropped that, it could have spelled disaster for the Panthers. You know, even though Pikeville hasn't played that well in this ball game, Jim, and you think that Beechwood has played much better, the score is still only 14-7.
I think they're going to gain confidence with every down. Looks like we got a quick kick action. A great call. Great call.
Well, let's see if it can take a Pikeville bounce, and it will, all the way down to the 40-yard line. So on third down, Shane Allaire, who you mentioned can really kick the ball, showed us just how well he can kick the ball on a quick kick, and Pikeville gets themselves out of a hole. It will go for a 50-yard punt.
On the quick kick, something you don't see is Coach Allaire, #1 assistant to Hillard Howard for 18 years, and that's something you might see from quite a ways back. But a good call, and I think Pikeville is very happy just to get out of that hole without any kind of miscue.
I'm sure Bill Allaire is waiting for the day that they say head coach Bill Allaire, not former assistant to Hillard Howard. And I'm sure that will come soon. Wilmoff handing off Joey Johnson around the right side. He's got some blockers, turns it back in the middle, and all the way down to the 40-yard line. It will go for about a 20-yard pickup that time. Joey Johnson really did a fine job that time of allowing his blockers to lead the way.
Good job by number 65. Not sure whom that is. Don't have that number right now, don't believe. Barney did a nice job of hustling back from his linebacker slot to shut that one down, or that could have gone much further.
Wilmoff with a 1st and 10 now. It is Brandon Berger off the left side, hit behind the line, and it is number 15, Collins, and Cochran who assists to bring him down. Panthers have shown a flash of that championship form on defense several times.
Well, Beechwood has had good success, Keith, with those reverses, and excuse me, with those reverses, the pursuit, Pikeville's getting good pursuit to the ball and kind of leaving the other side open. And Beechwood has had good success with those reverses. You wonder if maybe they'll try and come back with something like that.
Wilmoff dropping back, looking for a quick pass. It is complete this time to number 31, making his way down the sideline. Allaire will pull him out inside the 35, inside the 25, down to about the 20, Rodney Williams. The man who made the catch, and indeed he'll be down to the 20-yard line, and Beechwood now looking rather powerful on this offensive display. Well, many people had anticipated what the Panthers would look like in their opening ball game, and Jim, you want to remember the absence of J.J. Bailey, Darrell Ratliff, and of course J.P. Blair, so I'm sure that has a presence with this team.
Without question.
First and 10 from the 20. Brandon Berger up the middle, and he will go for about another 3 to 4 yard gain.
Brandon Berger on the
Actually, it's going to be more than that as he crosses the 15 down to about the 13 or 12. Well, the Panthers were undefeated for 2 straight seasons until they met the Belfry Pirates last year at Belfry. That streak ended. However, in 3 seasons, they've lost 1 ball game.
Not bad.
Not bad at all. But right now, they're in danger of losing the first ball game of the season as they trail 14-7 with 5:20 to play in the third. Wilmhoff over the middle, incomplete. Intended for Keith Schilling that time, and the Panthers played fairly good defense.
Nice play by big number 32, Kevin Lockhart. He came over to knock that one down. You know, Keith, while we've got a moment here, some of the members serving currently on the Pike County Bowl Committee. We've got the chairman, Dr. David Mulliken. Lucian Meade is Executive Vice President of the Pikeville National Bank. Paul Dotson, Hillard Howard, Jerry Kinder, William Blackburn, and Derek Potter. They've certainly got to be commended, as well as Pikeville National Bank, for doing a super job here in making this as good a bowl game as you'll see in the state of Kentucky.
I will say this, I think anywhere in the state you go, you're not going to find a bowl that is run any better than this one or more classy than this one. And the greatest thing about it is, Jim, you and I can say this, but as you look around tonight, you see the standing room only crowd, you know that what we are saying is true, because a tremendous crowd of at least 5,000 has showed up tonight for these two events.
Sure, pretty rough. Also, I think some of the employees of the Pikeville National Bank volunteer their time and energy to greatly contribute to the success of these bowl games, and they've done a super job.
Well, I saw Dennis Hill, and I thought I noticed he had his track shoes on, because he was up and down the stairs several times and running around. They do a wonderful job of making sure that everyone is comfortable and that everything goes the way it should.
Big third down call here, Keith.
Oh, I love that photo. He's got $1 and saying, "Come on, Mom, I want a hot dog." Wilmhoff looking to an individual who's wide open. Joey Johnson angling for the sideline, and he is in for the touchdown.
Well, it was a good job by the coaching staff. Beechwood, Coach Barry had noticed something, and Johnson that time just got lost. Someone blew an assignment, and it's 6 more points. Beechwood, 5:11 to play third quarter, and they've got the 20-7 lead.
Well, not only a good job by that coach, but another coach, and that is Wilmhoff. And Jim, he has such a presence back there when he's controlling the football. He did a good job of looking things over, waiting for his man. Beechwood now up 20-7. They'll try to tack another one onto it, as you see the Pikeville coaches trying to talk this one over. On for the kick. Mike Riggert puts it on its way, and it is going to be good. So it is Beechwood now taking a 21-7 lead over the Pikeville Panthers. Whether or not you can call that a commanding lead or a lead that has handed the Panthers a loss at this point, I don't know. But with 5 minutes and 11 seconds in the third period, Jim, without question, Pikeville is going to have their work cut out for them here in the third and fourth quarter.
Well, they don't need to do anything fancy, I don't think, Keith. Maybe mix up a few passes with the run. But right now, if they can just manage to hold ground and maybe just be the next team to score, if they could pick up a score, certainly would it be a touchdown and get back in this thing 21-14. Still a lot of time left, almost half of the third quarter to play.
Well, you know, with turnovers and the way these two teams have committed them in this ball game, anything could happen. I think the Panthers need to sustain a long drive. The one thing that Belfry did in the opening ball game was control the football. I think that's one of the things that the Panthers really need to do is control the football, eat up some time on the clock, and get a good drive in for a score.
I think you're exactly right. And, of course, the Beechwood Tigers will have something to say about that.
Lockhart, along with Alara and Lance Rose, back deep. As you can hear, the crowd coming alive. Short pitch, Shannon Cochran picks it up. Across the 35, out to about the 37. And the Beechwood crowd that is here, though they may not be a lot of numbers, really making the noise across the way right now.
Good field position for Pikeville. And we'll see what they can get going this time. Nice drive by Beechwood. They took it 60 yards for the touch and took a little bit of the steam out of the sails of the Panthers, but with a good drive here, like you're saying, eat up a little clock, you get right back in this thing.
Christian Caudle hands it off up the middle, and the Panthers not finding a whole lot of success against that offensive line of Beechwood at this point. Helvey will pick up about a yard at the most. They're going to give him about a yard and a half. Jason Blackman, the center. Caudle looking things over now. Caudle on the option, looking for some running room, and he's going to be brought down for about a 1-yard loss, much to the delight of the Beechwood fans.
Looks like Rodney Williams, along with Joey Johnson over there. Pikeville not having a lot of success trying to get wide to the wide side of the field. Beechwood looks awfully quick out there on the corners and on the defensive ends, and they just aren't having good success wide. Earlier in the game, they did have some good success up front, up through the tackles, but without the threat of a passing attack, they're going to kind of lose that.
Caudle dropping back, looking to pass. Pressure is on. He needs to get rid of this one if he can. And Caudle is brought down just about the 42. He may pick up about 2 yards on that play, but you can see the intense pressure that Beechwood put on Christian Caudle that time. Jimmy really never had an opportunity to send and throw that ball. And at this point, the Panthers looking at a fired-up Beechwood team.
Of course, that was his opposite number, the quarterback, Wilmhoff, who lowered the boom on him there with a little help from Joey Johnson. Beechwood a little bit quicker than I thought they'd be coming into this thing.
Well, if there's one thing that I think is a difference between these two teams is the quickness. Of course, J.J. Bailey would add to that, along with Darrell Ratliff. Those two not playing tonight. Alara with another booming kick. All the way down to the 15. It is going to bounce down to the 1-yard line.
Man, oh man, can that kid kick the ball? We're lucky. The last time he hit it, it was 50 yards. This time, Keith, unofficially, 60-yard punt.
What a foot by Shane Alara.
Man, the guy's just a junior, and turn out the lights for the kicking game of the Pikeville Panthers. I really like it. You know, also, big number 55, Jason Howell, pretty good place kicker, and that kind of ability with your kicking game can win you some close ones.
I'll tell you a little stat that's unusual that we haven't kept, but just struck my mind. In both games, there has not been a missed extra points or field goal. 100% tonight so far.
Pikeville needs to stiffen down here.
Wilmhoff taking over and handing it off to number 44, Greg Meyer. And Meyer is going to pick up a quick 8 yards. I just don't think the Panthers have the speed in this ball game that Beechwood has. And I think the Tigers have really utilized that speed.
I think you're right, Keith. And Pikeville came out with a lot of emotion. And that one turnover midway through the second quarter that led to the Beechwood score, I think has to be the big play of this game.
Well, actually, Meyer picks up a first down, so it'll be 1st and 10. Wilmhoff handing off again at the line. Looked to be number 32, Charlie Mesher, carrying the ball. Escher will pick up a yard or so. Well, for the Tigers right now, Jim, the clock becomes a friend. And for the Pikeville Panthers, it will be their worst enemy as it continues to tick. Time will run out on Pikeville to keep that performance level up to par that they've had in the Pike County Bowl.
Now, the defense for the Panthers will have to stiffen down deep here and force Beechwood to punt the ball away. If they could get some better field position, perhaps start their next drive, Pikeville inside Beechwood territory might give them a little bit of lift, and if they could just come up with a score, touchdown, field goal or something, I think they'd get a little bit of that emotion back.
Wilmhoff looking, he is caught by Cochran all the way down to the 5-yard line. Actually, looks like he's going to be inside the 5. So a big defensive play for the Pikeville Panthers by number 88, Shannon Cochran.
And a little bit of a bootleg there as all the direction went to the left side, and Wilmhoff tried to roll right, and big play by double H, Shannon Cochran, and that's the kind of play we alluded to. Now you're looking at third down, about 16, 17 yards for the first. Beechwood in their own territory, Keith, deep in their own territory. You wonder if they would take the chance at putting the ball up with a 2-touchdown lead down deep. I think Coach Barry might do it just because he's got such terrific confidence in number 12, Craig Wilmhoff.
Jim, I don't know. It's hard for me to write these Panthers off after traveling with them for about 4 or 5 years. Got a lot of pride. Wilmhoff facing a long third down at about 17, and they're going to try the quick kick. Pikeville is back. Lockhart is going to let it take a bounce, and it's going to be about the 44, so it'll work out pretty good for Beechwood.
Another good call. Coach Barry taking a page out of Coach Alara's book there, and that was a terrific call. That's a good play, and certainly a play you see much more in high school and college than you would in the professional ranks, but it was a good play.
In fact, I was going to mention to you the last ball game I broadcast was the Pikeville Panthers state championship win in Louisville. Football I'm talking about. Well, the Panthers get the playoff, but they do so as time winds down. It'll be about a 2-yard gain. At the end of 3 complete, the Beechwood Tigers hold a 21-7 lead over the defending Class A state champs, the Pikeville Panthers. We'll return with the 4th quarter at the Pikeville National Bank Pike County Bowl.
You know, when it comes to learning to play the piano, there are no guarantees. But one thing is certain. You can't learn to play the piano unless you have one. There are a lot of reasons why you don't own a piano, but I want to give you one good reason why you should. Your children. If Corey here doesn't learn to play another note, our investment is paid off. A piano is a big investment, but the rewards can be even bigger.
Action, auction, and how much will you give for it? Who go 50?
On Tuesday, August 28th at 7 p.m., it's another action auction. There will be 2 tracks auctioned off on the South Mayo Trail in Pikeville. Tract 1, 1/2 acre of land adjacent to the Mayo Professional Building, suitable for offices or commercial buildings. And Tract 2, a 6-room house situated on a 1/2 acre lot in the city school district. You don't want to miss this opportunity, so be there, bid, and buy.
95, and 100, and 100, 110.
$10,000. The folks at Coleman Oil and Happy Marts are giving away $10,000. Plus 13 family vacations to Myrtle Beach. Register every week through Friday, August 31st. No purchase necessary. Each week, one lucky person will qualify as a preliminary winner and get a free Myrtle Beach vacation. On Labor Day, you could be $10,000 richer. It's the Happy Mart way of saying we appreciate your business. Details available in all Coleman Oil Happy Mart locations.
Hi, everybody. I'm Randy Thompson with Bill Maynard at M&M Toyota in Pikeville, Kentucky. And once again, we're standing in front of a beautiful Kentucky-made Toyota Camry. Bill, we just cured the summertime blues, and I understand now it's shopping time at M&M Toyota.
It's shopping time, and things are happening here, Randy, at M&M Toyota. By the way, see the boys in the red shirts for a whale of a deal. By the way, have an M&M.
Thank you. M&M Toyota, home of the car people. They aim to please. Make them an offer. I dare you.
pick up a much-needed first down.
It's been a long time between drinks of water for the first down situation.
Absolutely, and they are doing it at this point in the air. Cochran wide to the right. Woods with a pitch, looking for some blockers, cuts it back in. Down across the 30. Fumbled the ball when he hit the ground, but as you know, the ground cannot cause a fumble, so Pikeville picks up about 4 yards on the carry.
Good job on the right side of the line, getting the block, sealing the thing off. Another nice block there by B.C. Newsom. Give it a little bit of running room.
10 minutes, 55 seconds just inside the fourth quarter. Pikeville trailing 21-7. Caudle with some blockers, looking. It is complete to 41 Woods. That was one of the harder catches that Woods will make all year long. He actually caught that ball about 6 to 8 inches off the ground.
And I think you're seeing the maturation of a quarterback here, Christian Caudle, trying to come along under fire here in the fourth quarter, the Pike County Bowl.
It'll be a 3rd down and 2. And the handoff goes to Alara off the left side. He has some room. Shane Alara in for the touch. There are no penalty flags down, and Shane Alara has scampered 23, looks like 24 yards out for a touchdown for the Pikeville Panthers. And Jim, as I said, it's hard to write them off. The Panthers back in this ball game quickly as they put up 6 to make it 21-13.
Now, Keith, the extra point, so very big here. Of course, you can go for 2 in Kentucky high school football should Pikeville score another touchdown for overtime possibilities and all those kind of things. But a lot of pressure here on Jason Howell.
Howell, bad snap, it is down. Cochran picked it up. He's looking to the end zone, but he is going to be brought down shy of the end zone at the 4-yard line.
Well, that hurts, but it's not disaster, Keith, because they can go for 2 should they score another touchdown. And, you know, we do have overtime in Kentucky high school football. One of the new rules passed, well, certainly it's been in for a long, long time. And
as you said, it doesn't seal the coffin, but it sure does put another nail in there. A lot of time left, Jim. 9 minutes, 59 seconds. As you see, Tim Haynes, Corbett Couch. Tim is saying, wave, Corbett. Corbett is saying, no. Doing a fine job on the sidelines tonight with the cameras. Jonathan Morse above us.
Oh, yeah. Everybody's doing a super job. And sideline work not so easy, dragging those cables and running back and forth amongst the players on the sidelines. Everybody's doing a super job. Kim Mays, our director in the truck. We've already mentioned Joey Johnson's name enough.
Right. I think we'll all agree with that.
Leona Napier working the Chiron.
It is a low kick, and it'll be at the 26-yard line, taken by Beechwood.
A lot of pressure now on the Pikeville defense, Keith. Can they shut down Craig Wilmoff? I don't know.
Well, the Panthers have fought their way back into this ball game. They trail 21-13. They must, Jim, at this point, stop Beechwood. Defensively, they've got to get up there and make it a 4-down series, get the football back, and hopefully get into the end zone. Wilmoff will try to have none of that. Johnson in motion this time. Wilmoff looking to pass on first down. Jason Blackburn is after him. He gets it off, and it is complete. Complete pass that time all the way out to the 50-yard line. I believe it is Brandon Berger, number 36, the man that made the catch.
could have been Joey Johnson, not
You're
sure,
right.
Keith.
Pardon me.
But, you know, they were out there in the flat dueling with one another, and that time Johnson just came away with it. A big, big play, and, you know, you need big players to make big plays, and that time Joey Johnson came up with one for the Beechwood Tigers.
Did you see what Johnson did to make that catch? He simply stopped, watched his quarterback in the ball, and came back to it, Jim. He really made the play.
Right. We talked a lot about Wilmhoff, but he's getting a lot of help from the other fellas.
Here goes Brandon Berger up the middle, caught from behind. Brought down at the 40, but at this point, the Pikeville Panthers are not able to stop Beechwood. Two big offensive plays, the pass to Johnson and now Berger on the run. You know, it's a game of inches when you think about it. There you go. That's a nice wave. Holding up a number 1. Jason Blackburn was just inches away from grabbing Wilmhoff for what would have been a loss on the sack.
Cheerleaders haven't given up, Keith.
Well, I'm sure the Pikeville fans won't either. Second down and 1. Wilmhoff looking to throw. Schilling is out there, overthrown. Kevin Lockhart was with him step for step.
Well, that young man has played a terrific game. We've called his name a lot, and, you know, a lot of times they say that the best athletes on the field have to be at the corner position. Number 32 has done a good job here for the Panthers.
Got to give it to Beechwood. Smart call. You've got a second down and 1. You've got a play to waste, and they go for it all.
Good call. Coach Barry has been around 17 years at Beechwood, 16 years as the head coach.
Hit at the line of scrimmage, and now hit again by Keith Lockhart. That's number 32, Charlie Mesher, who not only picks up the first down, but drives the football all the way down to the 32-yard line. About an 8-yard gain.
Don't stop.
Beechwood on this drive, so far, Jim has had their way.
Sure have. They haven't done much of those reverse type actions. Basically, everything's either been a pass or something straight at them. Could maybe have picked up on one of the field mics, some of the Pikeville coaching staff hollering, stay home, stay home. You wonder if maybe they might try some kind of reverse, maybe to the short side of the field.
Johnson in motion again. Berger this time up the middle. Honaker couldn't pull him down. Blackburn's got him from behind, and we will have penalty flags down on the play. Boy, Jason Blackburn has played quite a ball game tonight. You've got to really give it to the young man with a lot of respect.
Keith, can we get you with a haircut like that?
You know, it's funny you mentioned that. I had one like that just a couple of months ago.
Uh-huh.
I did.
Of course, you didn't really want to go for it when, you know, the season got a little over. Right. Okay.
You're right.
Keith, we've got 7.5 minutes to play in regulation. It's a tough penalty there, as Beechwood now will be looking at 1st and 20, but they are so explosive. I got to believe they're in a better stead to be able to make up 1st and 20s than Pikeville would be.
Well, we'll see as Wilmhoff drops back on 1st down. Has a man wide open. It is Mesher. Breaks 2 tackles and is on his way down the sideline. Lockhart from behind. Still can't hold him. O'Lara brings him down at the 7-yard line. What a run by Charlie Mesher. You can count them, Jim. 5 tackles that he broke.
A lot of heart and a lot of pride in that run. And Beechwood owns 1 state title. Pikeville with 3. As you see, a flag went down. I believe that will be a face mask against Pikeville. Will march them half the distance to the goal line. You're looking at a 1st and goal here, somewhere around the 4-yard line. But Beechwood just has that big play capability, and they hit Pikeville with 1 there.
That was the play, if you can say, that broke the camel's back. Charlie Mesher just turned it in. Instead of the Panthers being able to stop this team on 4 downs, basically, Beechwood has had their way with the Pikeville defense this time. Tremendous effort by Charlie Mesher. Well, the Pikeville Panthers, with only 7 minutes, 7 seconds remaining in this ball game, will now face the problem of trying to stop Beechwood from getting in the end zone, getting the football back, and trying to get on the scoreboard. Wilmhoff. First and goal after the penalty from about the 3. Wilmhoff on a quarterback keeper, and he gets the touchdown. Well, the comments that Coach Duffy from Fort Thomas Highlands made in the opening ball game, that having your quarterback from a state championship team returning should be a big plus for a team. Well, having a quarterback like Wilmhoff returning from a team that made it to the state semifinals has definitely been a plus for Beechwood.
Sure has. And Coach Barry said he was the best athlete he had on his team, and I don't know about that one. They've got a lot of good athletes over there, but certainly Craig Wilmhoff, a good ball player.
I'll try to add the extra point with Mike Riggert. It is a bad snap. Riggert will try and throw it if he can. It is over the head of Berger and incomplete. So we have back-to-back misses on extra points, and it is 27-13. Beechwood leading. We'll step out for a timeout for these commercial messages and return to the Pikeville National Bank Pike County Bowl. Pikeville 13, Beechwood 27.
Come on, play the game where everybody wins. Play it once and play again. Every time you play, you win. Come on, don't you know it's true? It's a game you just can't lose from Pepsi. Everyone wins with Pepsi in the Heartland. Great prizes from Universal Studios, Kodak, Frito-Lay, even Oldsmobile. It's the taste the people choose. Come on, you know the Heartland's true. To the red, white, and blue of Pepsi.
You could win 2 free Frito-Lay grab bags or other prizes when you buy specially marked Pepsi products.
If you're up in the air over high home loan costs and your dream seems like it's blowing in the wind, come to Pikeville National for some down-to-earth information that can help turn your dream home into reality. Fixed rate, adjustable rate, and VA home loans with up to 30 years financing to qualified applicants are available from the home loan specialists at Pikeville National. And with our home loan money line, getting started is a breeze. Share your American dream with Pikeville National Bank and Trust, an equal housing lender, member FDIC.
Besides being nestled in the beautiful mountains of eastern Kentucky, what do these fine banking institutions have in common? Citizens National Bank of Paintsville, Bank Josephine of Prestonsburg, Citizens Bank of Pikeville, First Commonwealth Bank of Prestonsburg, and First Security Bank of Whitesburg. They all have telephone systems engineered and installed by Eastern Telephone Company. Eastern Telephone is not just a local company, but a company that provides prompt, professional service and advanced technology. Call Eastern Telephone for free consultation.
Your Sears store in Pikeville is full of good ideas for improvements inside and outside your home. Redo your kitchen with quality cabinets, windows, or maybe a new door. And Sears has quality Kenmore appliances for the best prices. Visit Sears Entertainment Department, where you'll find a new TV, VCR, or stereo system to spice up your living room. Sears in Pikeville even has an automotive department and service center for your convenience. Visit them in the Town & Country Shopping Center in Pikeville. They're open Monday through Saturday from 8:30 a.m. until 8 p.m. or call the toll-free number and place your order, 1-800-633-3000.
Welcome back to the Hambly Athletic Field here in Pikeville as Craig Wilmhoff takes it 4 yards to pay dirt. Extra point was no good, and now the Pikeville Panthers find themselves trailing by 2 touchdowns at 27-13.
Well, it's going to be a hard road to travel for the Pikeville Panthers, Jim, to get back in this one with only 6 minutes and 44 seconds remaining. But I'm sure stranger things have happened, but I don't know that they're going to happen tonight. Lockhart having problems controlling the ball. Picks it back up. He'll get out just about to the 17, the 18, and Pikeville will open up 1st and 10. 6 minutes, 35 seconds remaining, and Beechwood at this point looking as if though they have probably secured themselves a victory here in the nightcap of the Pike County Bowl. You can see Lockhart coming off. He's played a tough ball game tonight. Tired and deservingly so.
Now the Panthers are going to have to put the ball up. And strangely, they'll come out in the I formation this time.
Caudle to Cochran. Around the left side, he'll pick up about 3 to 4 yards.
Keith, we got 6 minutes to play here, and if Pikeville could somehow manage to put one in, they've got enough time, but virtually would almost be assured of having to try an onside kick should they take 4 or 5 minutes to get this one in, but we'll just have to see. Pikeville does have some big play capabilities, but not nearly as much as the red team.
Caudle looking to put it up. He has a receiver. It's Lockhart, and he is brought down at the 25. Now that may go for a half-yard to yard gain. At this point, Pikeville, as you said, Jim, needs a quick touchdown, but Beechwood has been so confident. And to be honest with you, Beechwood looks like the stronger team right now.
I think so, Keith. Certainly, as you mentioned, the quicker team. And quickness means so much in any sport. Certainly football.
Panthers facing a 3rd down and 3. Caudle handing off up the middle. Pikeville will be very close to a 1st down. And they will get it. The signal already made, so no doubt about it. It is Lance Rose, or pardon me, Shane Alara, number 30.
A lot of second effort on the part of Shane Alara that time to get the 1st down, and that's where you see a lot of the pride and a lot of the tradition coming to the fore, as Pikeville certainly will not throw in the towel.
One of the big differences with this team, as opposed to years have passed with the depth, most of the offensive players have gone double on the defense. Pikeville had the luxury of that not happening in years past. Number 30, Alara again off the left side. He'll pick up about 3 more yards.
4 yards on the play for Shane Alara, 2nd and 6 Panthers.
Keith, I'm telling you, we saw Belfry win the first one, and we thought, well, maybe they can make it to Louisville and play for the title in 3A. Beechwood is going to be tough in single A this year.
Absolutely. Caudle on a quarterback keeper. He gets across the 40, down to about the 43, and he picks up a 1st down.
See, that coaching staff won't let them quit, will they? They're really fired up, keeping their team in it. And as we mentioned, there's like 3.5 minutes to play in this thing. If Pikeville could sort of grind it out and pick up a touchdown, they're still in the thing. Onside kick, can't tell what would happen.
Caudle dropping back. He has some time to put this one up. He's looking down midfield, and it is picked off by number 5. That is Schilling. And that, Jim Frazier, is probably going to be the last hurrah for the Pikeville Panthers in this ball game.
Well, they're giving it everything they had and trying it over the middle. A little bit too tall and couldn't quite pick up whom they were trying to hit on that one, Keith.
Come on, play the game where everybody wins. Play once and play again. Every time you play, you win. Come on, don't you know it's true? It's a game you just can't lose from Pepsi. Everyone wins with Pepsi in the Heartland. Great prizes from Universal Studios, Kodak, Frito-Lay, even Oldsmobile. To taste the people too. Come on, you know the Heartland's true. To the red, white, and blue of Pepsi.
You could win 2 free Frito-Lay grab bags or other prizes when you buy specially marked Pepsi products.
The Besides being nestled in the beautiful mountains of eastern Kentucky, what do these fine banking institutions have in common? Citizens National Bank of Paintsville, Bank Josephine of Prestonsburg, Citizens Bank of Pikeville, First Commonwealth Bank of Prestonsburg, and First Security Bank of Whitesburg. They all have telephone systems engineered and installed by Eastern Telephone Company. Eastern Telephone is not just a local company, but a company that provides prompt, professional service and advanced technology. Call Eastern Telephone for free consultation. We appreciate your business. To make sure you get the message, your friends at Happy Mart are giving away $10,000. Register now at all Happy Mart Coleman Oil locations. Each week, for the next 13 weeks, one lucky Happy Mart customer will win a deluxe family vacation for 4 at the Myrtle Beach Hilton. Plus, on Labor Day, you could walk away with $10,000 in your pocket. No purchase necessary. Register every week. Details available at all Happy Mart Coleman Oil locations.
Pikeville Panthers, and something that they have tried so hard to correct as the game has gone on, but they have just not had a lot of luck with. And we're going to get a penalty flag before this ball can be snapped.
Maybe just an equipment check here. At any rate, Keith, we have seen, delay a game. They did hit him with the flag. At any rate, we have seen 4 fine teams doing battle, and any of these teams could make it back to Louisville.
I think the Belfry Pirates showed in the opening ball game the strength that we were really impressed about. Pikeville, a team, as injuries are healed and they get some players back, they're going to be a tough ball club. They're going to be back in this. And I think Bill Allaire will do an excellent job, and I think all the Pikeville fans feel that way, and coaching staff. Pikeville has undergone some tragedies, and it's going to take a little time for them to heal, but by mid-season, they should be a team to reckon with.
Of course, Keith will be coming back to Pikeville to do the Pikeville-Belfry game in a few weeks. Our next WYMT TV game will be the Honey Bowl over in Breathitt County, as Breathitt County takes on Pineville. That game next Friday.
Greg Meyer picks up a loss on his carry. Well, pardon me, he picks up a couple of yards after the penalty. 2 minutes and 14 seconds remaining in this contest. Here's Joey Johnson around the right side, DeAnthony Honecker, and Jason Blackman on the tackle. Should be quite an interesting ball game when we return for the Pikeville-Belfry matchup. We'll have a chance to see exactly how much the Panthers will have improved and if their players will be healthy, and they'll be going up against one of the more devastating teams in the state of Kentucky, and that'll be the Belfry Pirates. Well, we have a timeout as the Panthers will do everything they can to stop the clock. I don't think at this point, after you win 3 straight championships, Jim, you've got to realize that this team is never going to say die. They're going to use all their timeouts, use all the strategy they can, and I'm sure still believe and think that some way they're going to get back in this game. But realistically, with the score at 27-13, one would think that this game would be safe.
Well, they thought nothing but win the whole way for a number of years here, and they're not going to throw into the towel until there's zeros across the board. But just as a matter of fact, as we could put it, Beechwood was the better team here today.
Well, 2 minutes and 2 seconds remaining. Young man learning a high five there. I guess that was the low five.
Right. Next week, travel to Jackson. Breathitt County will entertain Pineville. Of course, Breathitt County, 3A team in the same district with Belfry. Falling on some hard times this year. They're 0-2 and lost their quarterback, Brent Lovely, to an ankle injury last night.
Joey Johnson, the right side. Brought down after a couple of yards. Well, we'll get another timeout for the Pikeville Panthers, I believe.
Talking with Coach Barry, he was alluding to his schedule this year. The first 3 games, he's got Pikeville, defending Class A champs. Then he takes on 3A Simon Kenton next week. Then in a couple of weeks, Covington Catholic, also a 3A school. Pikeville, Simon Kenton, Covington Catholic, your first 3 games. Might mention that Covington Catholic in the same district, Keith, with Fort Thomas Highlands, and the 3A champion has come from that district the last 3 years. Covington Catholic won it 2 years in a row, and then Highlands with the crown last year. Probably one of the more difficult districts in the state, if not the most difficult district to play in, up there in northern Kentucky. And Beechwood has had good success against Covington Catholic. As a matter of fact, they were, I believe, the only team to defeat them 2 years ago when they managed to win it all.
They love their football, don't they?
Sure do.
I've got to hand it to the cameramen. They've really come up with some of the most interesting shots tonight. Beechwood to kick it away. It is going to be a very high but short kick. And it will take a Beechwood bounce this time, down to about the 34, and Pikeville will take over one final time, Jim, with about 1 minute and 39 seconds left. So the Panthers will get one more opportunity. Let's see. Can you see us in there? Here, Jim, wave your hand. Just a little bit. There you go. We'll wave. Oh, there we made it. Tim Haynes, along with Corbett Couch on the sideline, doing a good job tonight. By the way, there was air conditioning in the booth tonight, so it wasn't as bad as Jim and I complained when we talked about the heat for the players. Actually, there's a cool vent right below us, and we stayed quite cool the entire ball game. Shannon Cochran with a reception out to about the 49.
Terrific facilities here at Pikeville, and I know if we could talk right now with the Beechwood folks and the Fort Thomas Highlands folks, they would certainly concur with that statement that they do a super job up here at Pikeville, and Pike County ball, one of the best.
Cardinal puts it out deep. It's picked off by Joey Johnson. And Johnson will just get out of the sidelines and
almost get Tim Haynes.
Yeah.
The tripod went down.
We brag on our men, and what happens? Haynes goes for a tackle right at the end of the ball game. You sure his last name isn't Hayes, like Woody Hayes from Ohio State?
Could have been.
Tried to jump in there and get his name in the record books right at the end.
Nice sportsmanship play by Joey Johnson, not trying to run the score up or anything. I believe you'll see the same type of thing that Belfry did with Fort Thomas Highlands. They'll probably just snap the ball a couple of times and sit down on it. See, Berger will drop back in deep safety, as it were.
Wilmhoff will touch it down. And this one is going to belong to Beechwood. It is going to be an opening loss for the Pikeville Panthers on what has been an emotional weekend for them. 27-13. I'm sure Beechwood will probably have to snap it one more time, and that would be it.
You know, one thing we haven't talked about, Keith, is the academic excellence of both of these teams. And the two teams prior, Belfry and Fort Thomas Highlands. Right here in Pikeville and Beechwood, you have a couple of the finer school districts in the state. And all of these young men are not only high achievers on the football field, but they're high achievers in the classroom as well. And that comes down from the administration, the coaching staff, the teachers, all deserve a big hand because they do a super job at both places.
Well, I called Pikeville High School sports for about 6 or 7 years, and they kind of adopted me over here, so it's kind of a homecoming for me, Jim, and it's nice to see a lot of old friends here tonight at the park. Unfortunately for Pikeville, they'll lose this game 27-13. So the Panthers in 1990 will start off with an 0-1 record. Beechwood winning here tonight. And the nightcap of the Pikeville National Pike County Bowl, Belfry winning earlier. The final score of the second game. Beechwood, the Tigers, 27. The Pikeville Panthers, 13.
You know, when it comes to learning to play the piano, there are no guarantees. But one thing is certain. You can't learn to play the piano unless you have one. There are a lot of reasons why you don't own a piano, but I want to give you one good reason why you should. Your children. If Corey here doesn't learn to play another note, our investment is paid off. A piano is a big investment, but the rewards can be even bigger.
Action, auction, and how much will you give for it? Who go 50?
On Tuesday, August 28th at 7 p.m., it's another action auction. There will be 2 tracts auctioned off on the South Mayo Trail in Pikeville. Tract 1, 1/2 acre of land adjacent to the Mayo Professional Building, suitable for offices or commercial buildings. And Tract 2, a 6-room house situated on a 1/2 acre lot in the city school district. You don't want to miss this opportunity, so be there, bid, and buy.
95, and 100, and 100, 110.
If you've ever struggled with a handheld trimmer, you'll love this revolutionary new kind of trimmer on wheels. Just look how easy it rolls on those 2 big wheels and glides in any direction on this front-mounted mobile. It's perfect for trimming around rocks, along fences, buildings, sidewalks, and in all those hard-to-reach corners. The new DR is also a mower. It cuts tall grass, waist-high weeds, even wet grass and rough areas with never-before ease. There's no steel blade to bend or dull. You'll just love what the DR Trimmer Mower can do for you and your property. A big color catalog is just $2. Call toll-free 1-800-423-8800. That's 1-800-423-8800 for your big color catalog all about the revolutionary DR Trimmer on wheels.
The final score in tonight's second ball game. It is Beechwood winning over Pikeville 27-13. Jim Frazier, quite an event. The 6th annual Pikeville National Bank Pike County Bowl. 4 great teams. Belfry winning over Fort Thomas Highlands 38-7. We had a record crowd here, I imagine somewhere around 5,000 that thoroughly enjoyed this event.
It was a terrific event, and I've got some most valuable players for you. In the first game, the most valuable back was Dale Oliver. And the most valuable lineman was Tim Bob Hatfield, both of those fellas from Belfry. And in the second game, the nightcap, Brad Berger was the most valuable back, and Kevin Schilling, the most valuable lineman, both of those fellas from Beechwood, as Beechwood rolls up 302 yards total offense in this game. Keith, enjoyed it? Super job.
Well, we'd like to thank a lot of people, the Pikeville National Bank, for the excellent job done here tonight. Also, Athletics Director of Pikeville High School, that is Shillard Howard, who made sure that everything was taken care of, and everyone from Channel 57, the crew that's working here on these ball games tonight. You've been watching the 6th annual Pikeville National Bank Pike County Bowl, brought to you in part by the Pikeville National Bank, KC Music, Pepsi, Sears in Pikeville, Coleman Oil, Eastern Telephone, Sears in South Williamson, Action Auction, Hatfield Funeral Chapel, and Belfry Floral and Gift Shop.